Hello everybody. Like my new shirt? It's Deadpool. Doing maximum effort. He's bringing burritos, chimichangas, tacos, all that good stuff. Is that good enough view for you? Sweet. I would have to comment that he is better than Joel Osteen. Because he is bringing food and doing stuff Joel is choosing not to do. He's waiting until after. He's probably opened up his church, his mega church, now. But here's my question. Why didn't he do it during the disaster? He's on elevated land, and his church can take it. And I wonder what that's about. Now, enough about Joel. Well, I've come to want to speak about something else. I found a book that, in my opinion, is more useful than the Bible. But a word about religion is, just give me a minute. This book, in my opinion, is more useful than the Bible. Instant Facts. We got this pretty cheap, but it's still a good book. Something I want to bring up is, it won't show up in this book, but I will bring it up anyway. Christians, ones that I have talked to, have told me they think religion is necessary. For what? I don't know. Typical Christian answers, morality, all that good stuff. Well, but I'm left with this. Why do I gotta be scared of hell for anything? To do good or to do bad, why do I gotta be scared of hell to do any of it? Why do I have to believe in a supernatural entity to motivate me to do good or evil? If I do evil, it's not because God told me to. It's because I'm a dick. And you're my victim. If I do good, it's not because God told me so. It's because I feel sorry for you. In fact, just take it as that. Whenever I do good to you, it's because I pity you. If I open a door for you, it's because I feel like it's just etiquette. It's the order of things. In other words, I may not actually value a person. I act because I feel like it's necessity. Now, like toilet paper. You know, you might think of me as a dick. Yeah, come on. Of course you do. That's because you're a good person. Good people think of me as a dick. And that's how you'll be judged by me. I'm a cactus, by the way. So I'm more than just a prick. I'm covered in pain. Get to know me better and you'll find out. Oh wait, you've seen my previous videos. So, there you go. Now, you know about tax exemption. In fact, after hearing about Joel Osteen, and yes, I said enough about him. Well, that's enough about talking about him directly. In this case, I'm going to talk about something that has been referenced on account of him. He didn't help people. He could have. How was he able to do it? Because he has a tax exemption and he's essentially a con artist. That's the gist of it. Now, let's look at this tax exemption thing. Religion is tax exempt. If atheism is a religion, then should it not be tax exempt? Think about it. There are Christians, there are probably some Muslims watching this, there are probably some Hindus, and X amount of religions that I don't know the name of. Well, aside from atheism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, other, they all have one major thing in common in the States, and that's that you are all tax exempt. And if you believe atheism is a religion, put it in the comments. But I have a question for you. If atheism is a religion, then why don't we have tax exemption? We do not have tax exemption for reasons I don't understand. But Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Buddha, all of these religions are tax exempt. Just in case I didn't speak clearly, I don't think I did. It's a bad habit. Now, it's something I have not heard brought up in a lot of videos. I've heard everything else brought up in those videos. Some of my favorite YouTubers, such as Jacqueline Glenn, Rachel Oates, Cult of Dusty, Cosmic Skeptic, Long Hair Guy, who is also British, and he talks very eloquently, the long hair guy does, and he is quite British. You know the one. He's the one that had a smug, fat, bald guy who's afraid of profanity talking down to him while he's going, so smug. Meanwhile, he's laughing like that, is smug. Well, okay. But who isn't a little smug? I mean, who with self-esteem isn't a little smug? But I bring up tax exemption because if all religion is tax exempt and atheism is not, then they're not really fully acknowledging what they're saying. And I'm going to repeat what has been said. Atheism is about lack of belief, not about belief. And there are some aspects of religion that I believe can be addressed back in this book that I find interesting. Many atheists were once Christian. Some Christians seem to think that that's not the case, but I promise you I used to be. I used to go to church. I also had a person think that I was retarded simply because I forgot to clean my glasses when I was 7. Well, guess what? That was a time period when I was a little slow. But that's what happens when you're young and you have autism. I have pervasive deficit disorder. I want to raise awareness about that. That is a thing. I don't have the symptom list, but I have a feeling I match it because I was diagnosed with it. Now, you know how when you're Christians, you pray. How do you punctuate your prayer? How do you end it? You say, Amen. Some people pronounce it Amen or Amen. Well, I found an interesting thing, and I've heard this on other YouTube videos. Now I'm going to read something from this book right here. Here, I'm gonna turn it towards you. Here's the gods of Egypt. You see that? Excuse me. Amen. Now read the text. In fact, I'll just read it aloud, okay? Originally, a local god worshipped in Thebes, which is in the Greek area, later identified with Ra, the sun god, became known as Amun-Ra, the chief Egyptian god. And Christianity didn't come about till later. It wasn't officially declared Christianity until like after Jesus, supposedly. And that's if Jesus really was that white guy you think he is. Now, there are other things I'm going to speak up about, okay? Well, I paused the video for a bit, and I've come back. I was looking at other stuff in this book, and it does have a lot of information, but I couldn't find what I was looking for, which was information on why atheism got considered a religion. Maybe because it ends in ism. I don't know. But lack of belief is not a religion. There's a classification for religion, a definition. I forgot what that definition is, but I know this. I know atheism just isn't that. Atheism is about lack of belief, not about belief. It's about the absence of belief. I know I've said that, but sometimes I feel like I have to say it in multiple different ways before a person of faith will get it. Thing is, some people will comment, let people believe what they believe, man. My response to you is, that's all well and good until the person who is of faith, of any faith, starts to tell me that my lack of belief doesn't exist. And it bugs me, because it's like telling me that what I say about myself is not true. Or that when I open up about myself, they just deny what was said. The whole point in opening up was simply that, to open up, to confide in a person what my beliefs really are. Not to be told that everything I told them is not true. I would have to say I'm a little sensitive to that. It is a nerve with me. I find it annoying. A lot of things are a nerve with me. I like it when people respect what I say and respect my opinion. And yes, I get it. I'm guilty of not respecting other people's opinion too. Guilty as charged. There are both non-religious and religious people who probably will come down on me for that, but whatever. People love to hate. I promise I'm riddled with reasons to hate. So this should be easy for you. You can feel free to hate on each other in the comments, because I love to read them. On my previous videos, people are paying attention, and someone even took the time to actually press one of the like or dislike buttons, which is great. It means that they actually watched the video to form an opinion. Sweet. That means I'm getting some traction. But I like to bring up religion and my lack of belief, because I used to believe. I used to believe so much, but there were many things that were chipping away at it. And I'm thinking where to begin. And I thought of it. First of all, at first it was just, people telling me that's twisted and stuff. But that, I overlooked it. Because it even says specifically in Christianity that if people insult you, that's a good thing. To be proud if you're insulted, because you're insulted for God's sake. So in other words, if you're insulting a Christian, you're essentially doing the thing the Bible says to be proud of. In other words, you're essentially probably going to make them more dedicated, resolute, or whatever word they choose. More committed, more strongly leaning in that way, because the Bible My mom read it to me. I didn't read it. I looked at that thing, and there were so many numbers, so many tiny print. I just couldn't do it. I mean, I was like, I couldn't bring myself to do it, even then, when I did believe. Now it just seems stupid. On the other hand, I do understand the significance of having read it, because then you can beat back an actual Christian with their own word. So, and I gotta say, there's a lot of inconsistencies just in Genesis. First of all, how did Cain have children? The Bible does not talk about Adam and Eve having daughters. And even if they did, and Cain, you know, he'd be fucking his sister. Incest. Oh, and here's another inconsistency. The children would have no one else to breed with to have produced children of their own. So they'd have to sleep with Adam and Eve's daughters. But here's another part that gets inconsistent. Here's why it's inconsistent in the first place. Not only because they don't bring up mention of the daughters, if there were any, but it's also because incest is against the rules in the Bible. Some people would defend that by saying, no, that's said later. In fact, in one part of the Bible, one guy goes to Egypt, and he has a sister named Sarah, or Sarai. And he's so scared, because apparently she's a stunning looker. She's sexy. He fears that the Pharaoh will basically murder him just to sleep with his sister, who's his wife. He's already jealous and paranoid. I think incest is wrong even at the beginning of time. Why couldn't God just create, let's see, what's the maximum or the minimum number for diversity in a population? I'm not a scientist, but just give me a number. A minimalistic number, mind you. The minimum number of people that can exist to produce a diverse genetic population. I'm going to place a bet. At least 50 different kinds of people. Minimum. Just to produce enough diversity. To ensure nobody's sleeping with someone else's sister. No one's sleeping with their own sister. Or their own cousin. At least 50 different individuals to start out with, right? And then those people get together and have children. And do the math. I'm not going to do it. You do the math. I don't want to do it. You do it. Because I know that if I do the math, I'm going to lose. I suck. I couldn't do math in school to save my own life. Well, the point is, I believe that that's inconsistent. In another part of the Bible, in Genesis, especially towards the very first pages, says that the earth is a circle. Okay? That's not making sense. I'm going to find something to just demonstrate the difference with. Now, I'm back. And I gotta say, I have examples. The Bible may claim of the earth being circular. This is a lid. It's reference. What I have is nothing more than reference material. And not even that good reference material, but it's good enough for my goals. Here's a simple circle. Now, some people like to claim that's the Bible calling the earth round. No, it's calling it a flat circle. That's not accurate. See? It's a lid. but it's also a circular lid. And you might like this, my example of a sphere or a spheroid thing, which is what Earth could be represented as. So I'm going to choose to represent it in the most fan servicey way known. Anyone who likes Star Wars Episode 7 and happens to love BB-8 will love this. But the point is, the Earth is not flat. It's not a circle. It's not BB-8. But you know what it is? Round. Ask any astronaut. Or do you believe that this is all brainwashing? They're pretty sucky examples, but it's what I had on hand. That being said, the Bible is inconsistent in Genesis. There are other ways it's inconsistent, but I'm rating the clock up pretty high now. But I'm going to leave you with this. Atheism is not really fully acknowledged as a religion, if it is, because we're not tax exempt. Joel Osteen, even though I ended talking about him, he is shit. Deadpool is more useful than God ever was, because at least when Ryan Reynolds makes some money, he can donate to Hurricane Harvey victims. And I think he has and will. He just simply didn't show up on the internet yet. But I think he's doing it right now. You know why? Because he's awesome. That's why. Yeah, because he's awesome. I don't know what more you want to hear. I think you would. And if he hasn't yet, it's probably because either he missed the fact that it happened, but you know he will change things. Well, I don't know how much money he makes, really, but I know that Deadpool movies will make him money. He'll make way more money than he'll spend to make it, than the people will spend to make it. Plus, the guy from John Wick is going to be, one of the directors from John Wick is going to be doing the directing of the Deadpool movie. So, he might make more money still. So, the takeaway is, it's going to be interesting. It's going to probably have a slightly different tone. Things like that. Cable's going to be in it. Well, and there are other places to get facts. Real facts. This book is kind of out of date, but it's still more informative than the Bible is. It's a book my mom got me, and she is Christian, but the point is, the Bible doesn't mention everything. She even mentions that, but she likes to talk more about miracles that I don't believe ever happened. We'll talk more in later videos. And like, comment, subscribe. It helps a lot. I don't know how you make the money from YouTube, but I will find out. And have a nice day.